Hello. Before we start, I'd like to introduce this project. My name is Katie, and I'm working with my partner Hollis on our Girl Scout Silver Award project, one of the highest awards in Girl Scouts earned by scouts that put in 50 hours of service work towards a sustainable cause. For our project, we chose to try to put a bike lane in on a street in our city that connects to many schools to make biking safer for students, faculty, and staff. In 2023, we lost a friend and classmate to a biking accident. This brought the harsh reality of how unsafe biking is to light in our eyes, so we decided to make a change. By watching and sharing this video, you can spread information about bike safety and benefits and make a change in your city. Bicycle crashes. There were 118 crashes between bicycles and motorized vehicles in 2022 in Dallas, Texas, which is 4.2% of total Texas bicycle crashes. 5 cyclists died from fatal injuries within 30 days of their accident. 22 sustained serious incapacitating injuries requiring an ambulance. 47 experienced visible but not incapacitating wounds, and 28 had possible non-visible injuries with symptoms, leaving only 15 cyclists unharmed from crashes. This means that in 2022, over 87% of cyclists in accidents in the Dallas area suffered from injuries or death. Consumer Product Safety Commission's 2020 report stated that 425,910 emergency room visits involved bicycles due to accidents and intentional injuries. 71% of cyclist fatalities occurred in urban areas. Half were during the day, and a bit over half occurred at non-intersections. Hardly any fatal crashes happened between a bike and motorized vehicle in marked bike lanes. Also, 97% of cyclist fatalities involved a rider not wearing a helmet, and 74% of fatal crashes involved head injuries. Make sure to wear a helmet when riding around to stay safe. The average annual bicycle commuting distance is 3,100 kilometers according to a survey. Just under 10% of respondents to the study reported an accident within the last 12 months of their response. An RDI, Relative Danger Index, where a higher number indicates greater danger, based on the data in the sample survey, for major streets were 1 in 2600ths, minor streets were 1 in 400ths, streets with bike lanes or routes were 5/10ths, bike paths were 6700ths, and sidewalks were 5 and 3/10ths. The annual accident rate uncovered by the survey was 37 and 1/10 accidents per million kilometers of cycling. Bike lanes. Sharrows do not offer bike riders comfortable, dedicated space separated from motorized vehicle lanes. There are 2 types of bike lanes, visually separated and physically separated. Though visibly separated bike lanes still designate a space only for cyclists, motorized vehicles can still access them, though it is not permitted. Physically separated bike lanes, however, completely separate cyclists and motorized vehicles, promoting safety and preventing accidents due to lack of awareness. According to a 2007 study funded by the Heart and Stroke Foundation of Canada and the Canadian Institutes of Health Research, of 690 injured cyclists participating, the cyclists were mainly injured on less than 5-kilometer long, weekday, utilitarian purpose trips. Collisions injured 72% of participants. Aris Composites study in 2021 unearthed that Texas is among the least bike-friendly states, and Texas sits at the 32nd spot in the League of American Bicyclists 2022 rankings. Texas's bicycle encouragement and education earned a C+, and funding and infrastructure scored a C, but traffic laws and practices earned a D-. Studies show that bike lanes increase cycling and decrease the risk of injury and death. More cycling decreases systemic inequities in American transportation. Bike lanes improve visibility for cyclists and drivers, reducing accident risk due to lack of awareness or misjudgment, organize traffic and reduce congestion, allowing more predictable and safe conditions for all people on the road, provide a traffic calming effect, and increase ridership due to perceived safer conditions. The presence of bike lanes can lead to reduced vehicle speeds, called a traffic calming effect, as suggested by studies. For example, a study found that a bike lane was associated with a 28% decrease in the average maximum speed on a street. Increasing opportunities for cyclists with bicycle lanes can help manage street capacity, potentially reducing traffic due to bike lanes providing an alternate means for transportation for short trips. However, adding bike lanes, especially protected lanes, could require a reallocation of road space, leading to more traffic depending on the situation. According to People for Bikes' 2015 national study, 54% of American adults find cycling a convenient way of transportation, and 51% want to ride more often, but 53% worry about accidents with motor vehicles. 47% of American adults say they would more likely ride their bike if motorized vehicles such as cars and trucks drove separately from bikes. Benefits of cycling. Bicycles have many benefits. Apart from walking, they are both the most environmentally friendly form of transportation and the cheapest. This reduces carbon emissions and provides an alternative mode of transportation for low-income residents and those without a driver's license. They decrease traffic and housing prices because if people do not use cars or trucks, they don't take up space on the road and don't need a garage or driveway. Bike lanes are also cheaper to build compared to new traffic lanes on streets or roads. Cyclists also have healthier knees and cardiovascular systems and may live longer. Cycling is a low-impact way to exercise for older adults that can no longer take the strain on joints that jogging causes. Cycling can diminish obesity, improve fitness, and reduce air pollution, greenhouse gases, and noise associated with travel. Unfortunately, cyclists have a higher risk of injuries requiring hospitalization than riders and drivers in motor vehicles. Making cycling safer can improve population health. A study demonstrated that infrastructure does influence both injury and crash risk while cycling. The presence of bicycle facilities had the lowest risk, whereas sidewalks and multi-use trails had the highest, suggesting that bicycle-specific facilities do reduce injuries and crashes. Though cycling and walking work the same muscles, cycling tends to force the muscles to exert more force. So, cycling works muscles better than walking. Cycling also burns more calories compared to the same category of intensity of walking. Texas leads the USA in transportation carbon dioxide emissions. In 2022, Texas produced almost 220 million metric tons of carbon dioxide emissions just from transportation. Vehicles, especially passenger trucks and cars, contributed 83% of Texas's 2019 transportation emissions. Even though vehicle fuel efficiency improves, increase in vehicle use leads to higher rises of Texas transportation emissions. Increased cycling would decrease these carbon emissions because more people would be riding than driving. E-bikes. Between 2019 and 2022, the American e-bike market surged 269% in sales. E-bikes are the most popular EV in the USA. Dallas allows the rental of e-bikes through a shared dockless vehicle program with companies such as Bird, Lime, and Spin. They were reintroduced in 2023 after a ban. Dallas is part of a Texas pilot program in 2025 that offers a $500 rebate for any e-bikes bought in non-attainment air quality zones, including the Dallas metropolitan area. Local e-bike stores exist in the Dallas area such as Electric Avenue Bikes, Bike Mart, and Pedego Dallas Electric Bikes. E-bikes are popular due to their increased performance and efficiency when compared to non-electric bikes, adaptability for leisure, commute, and work such as delivery, and lower cost compared to other transportation. There are 3 types of e-bikes: Class 1, Class 2, and Class 3. All 3 fall under the basic definition of an e-bike: a bike with operational pedals equipped with a fewer than 750-watt electric motor with a top-assisted speed of less than or equal to 28 miles per hour. They share the same rules as bikers regarding traffic and the requirements of a horn, headlight, and taillight. A Class 1 e-bike assists until it reaches 20 miles per hour or the rider stops pedaling. A Class 2 e-bike assists until it reaches 20 miles per hour but does not have to stop if the rider does not pedal. A Class 3 e-bike assists until it reaches 28 miles per hour or the rider stops pedaling. Texas requires children under 18 years of age to wear a bicycle helmet whilst riding a regular bicycle or Class 3 e-bike. However, Class 1 and 2 e-bikes are helmet optional for people of all ages. What you can do. A NACTO study showed that the more cyclists there are in a city, the more the bike lane system expands, improving safety for riders and therefore encouraging more people to bike. This positive feedback loop promotes public health through exercise and biking safely. Public engagement was a major factor in the City of Dallas's ability to update the Dallas Bike Plan. Community involvement is crucial to address bike travel concerns.